I have 3 pears cut in half, peeled in 800 milligrams of water and 300 grams of sugar, boiling. For the crust, I'm going to mix in my bowl 140 grams of butter, nice and room temperature, 100 grams of powdered sugar, and I'm going to mix this until it becomes like a creamy paste. And what I do is I like to sometimes use the back of my spatula to kind of like flatten it, and it goes a little bit faster than just turning around and around and around. See how I'm flattening it? And that makes it like a paste. Nice and creamy. And then make sure you gather everything around, that everything is mixed together. We don't want to have any powdered sugar that's not mixed with the butter. I mean, overall, you can't really mess this up, but it comes together really nicely. Then I'm going to add 1 egg. I keep the eggshells for the compost. It's a very nutrient for my plants. It's full of calcium, and I make a calcium jadam tea that I might show you one day. So now you mix again with the egg. Make sure that all the egg is incorporated, you know, the yolk and the white all together mixed in with the butter and the powdered sugar. Gather everything around. Before you start adding your flour. So we have 250 grams of flour. Don't forget, I'm using Einkorn flour. This is 30 grams of almond powder. I use Einkorn flour for every single one of my dishes that I make, whether it's bread or cakes or pancakes or anything like that, because it's an ancient grain, much easier to digest, low in gluten, and I just love its fluffiness. Check out Einkorn flour. They make pasta, you can find it in your supermarket, and they make flour. It's a very good flour to use. Then you kind of gather your crust, you know, your paste together. It's going to be a little crumbly, and that's okay because it is meant to be like that. It's butter, you know. Then I just grabbed my wooden roller. I like to put on my surface some plastic wrap, and you'll see in a minute why. I just find it easier to roll everything. Now I put a little bit of powdered flour. Then I'm going to put all of it. Sorry, my cat is meowing in the background. It's a new little kitty that we have. And so I put that on the counter, and I'm going to flour my hands. Sorry, using 2 spatulas to make sure I don't like to waste anything. Flouring my hands, and then kind of just gathering it. You know, you're not making yet the you're not flattening it or anything. You're just kind of just gathering it. Okay, make sure your hands have a little flour on them. Then I put it in the plastic wrap, just like so. I flatten it a little bit so it's already getting the shape that I will want to give it once I pull it out, because we're going to put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. And so it'll already be kind of flat like that. And then I'll just come in and I'll show you how I roll it on the counter. But I'm sure most of you have done this before, and I'm not teaching you anything. This is just a French recipe for the fabulous almond pear. Now let's go back to our pears, which have been cooking for about 30 minutes. Mine were absolutely not ripe. Yours might be a little longer or a little less. You know, you just put a knife in there, and if it's, you know, if you can go inside the apple easily, that means they're done. Don't forget, they're still going to be cooking a little bit in the oven. So then we strain them. I put them in a bowl, and then we're going to put them aside until they cool down. Voila. You see, I have 3 apples cut in half. Pretty easy. Of course, they've been peeled and cleaned. Now we're going to start with our filling. So now we have 100 grams of butter. It's a pretty similar thing with the filling and the crust. 100 grams of powdered sugar. So for this one is 100, 100, 100. Same thing, we always start with the butter and the powdered sugar, and we make that cream again. You see, I'm still using the back of my spatula to go a little bit faster. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of flattening it to make it all stick together. You see, it's already forming that cream. I always have a smaller spatula to help me get everything out. And this is pretty much what you're supposed to end up with. Now don't worry if there's still some chunks of butter, it's all going to melt in the oven, and the Einkorn flour is easy. Now this is 20 grams of flour and 100 grams of almond powder. Again, we mix it all together. Cleaning my spatulas. I'm a little bit obsessed with that, actually. But I like to not waste anything, you know, so it's very important to me. This is, you know, why would I? Okay, we're gathering everything, and now we're cutting 2 eggs. So for the filling, it's 2 eggs. For the crust is 1. Again, I'm putting them in my little container for my compost. A dash of vanilla extract. You could also add rum, you know, the liquor, if you'd like. It's very nice with it. I didn't have any, so I didn't add it. Plus my daughter doesn't really like the taste of it, so I try to make it so that everyone can enjoy it. Then mix your eggs really well. And again, we're looking for a sort of gooey, not super liquid, but put together filling. And that's pretty much it for the filling. You just make sure everything is coagulated together. You'll get some chunks of butter because it's not fully melted, which is fine, and it'll all work at the end. Voila. Then I grabbed I like those silicone paper sheets because it stops everything from moving on your counter. And again, you see I have 1 plastic in the bottom, 1 plastic on top of my crust, and I just take my mold that I put butter and I turn it around. I'm not a pro at this by any means. You guys probably know how to do this better than me, but I drop it in there, and of course if some of it is going to, you know, break, but that's okay because this isn't like a real, you know, it's like a pâte brisée, you know, it's a crust that's supposed to crumble at the end. So what I do, even if I have to grab a piece from one side and put it on another side that didn't end up exactly straight, it's no big deal. The Einkorn flour is all going to merge together. You see, I'm going to grab another piece here, put it over there. And then all I do is I kind of tap all around so that it has a nice uniform height on all sides. Very simple. Try not to make a hole. Now, some people, they use a fork and they make holes in their crust. I don't. It depends what I'm making. In this, to be honest with you, I forgot to put the holes many times, and my tart still came out perfectly. So I guess it's a flour that breezes a lot more. So now it's all ready. We're gonna put the filling first. You see how it's kind of liquid. You put that all in the middle like that, just like that. Very simple. Again, I'm not wasting anything. Voila. And then, you know, you sort of make sure it's all over very even. And then we're going to cut our pears. So there's many ways you can do it. You can make them in cubes. You can make them anywhere you want. So what I do is I make little thin slices. I keep the top intact, and then I just slice it. And then you can press down on it, and it'll make the pear open up. It's not super easy to do, but I try to make it so that it's opened and try to make a nice design. I'm not a pro at that either. So then you grab it, and what you're going to do is put it in one corner, and then I do the opposite corner, and then the two other opposites, and then, you know, I'll fill in the blanks. So here's the second one, or the third one. I kind of, there you go, right there. Sorry for the framing, you're not seeing it very well. I'll do better next time. And here we're cutting the third one, I think, or the fifth one, I don't know. Voila, and the last one. Voila, you just try to sort of decorate your pie all around. The oven is already at 350 degrees. We're going to pop this in the oven for about 35 minutes, and then I'll see you then. Here we are. It's over. The pie is ready. Now you pull it out of the oven, and you're supposed to let it sit like that for at least an hour before you take it out of your mold. You see? Nice and crispy. It is now cold, so I'm able to handle the mold. I love these molds because I just open them with a clip on the side. And look at that. I'm going to give you a little close-up now. I'm going to take the bottom also of my mold out. It's supposed to come out very easily since we buttered our mold. Shouldn't be any problems with that. A little tricky here. Et voilà! A beautiful amandine with pears. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's called an amandine. It's really good. You can add some vanilla ice cream on top, or anything you want really. You can also add some liquor inside. I didn't. I just put some vanilla extract. Also, you can top it up with sliced almonds if you enjoy that. I will put a link below of the inspiration I got. It's from France, so it's in French, so I thought, hey, I'm going to make an American version of it so you can all understand. And I hope you enjoyed, and until then, be safe, and God is good.